back to another brand new episode of that Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast. And I'm here with the boys, Jimbo, Coach Mike, and Todd. And we got a special guest with us today, Jimbo.
Woo! There you go, Flacco. We have Stooseman Brown with us today.
Yeah,
Morning.
Welcome.
One of those people we
Thank you
enjoy
guys for
racing
having me.
with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
And watching on the YouTubes.
watching on the YouTube
Yep.
gets in an episode here or there. Definitely appreciate that.
Yep. And another PSVR 2 user. Yeah, VR racer with us.
Hell yeah.
That's right. We're growing.
Seeing more and more of those.
I know,
in the
it's great.
community. You're loving it.
It's a game changer. So, Stoos, how long you been racing? I guess that's like when did you start your racing journey?
Well, racing journey definitely started, I guess, like right when GT7 came out. I wasn't really like the biggest like dude into racing games. Definitely wasn't like a sim racer or anything yet. I just got it because it was like the first generation. I wanted to go all out with like, oh dude, I'm gonna get all the Sony exclusives and this and that. So GT7 came out and I picked it up, and I don't know, it just turned into one of those games where I just wanted to gold like every challenge. I wanted to gold every circuit experience, and yeah, I just like fell in love with it. And then I guess that's where it started, was right when GT7 came out. I did all the single player stuff, all of the missions, everything on a controller first.
Wow.
And then I got a little racing wheel and a setup, and then the VR, and then since then, I was like, damn, I guess I'm a sim racer now.
Yeah.
So
Sucks you in.
It does.
It does,
So-
yeah. It turned into another like unhealthy hobby almost.
It's definitely a rabbit hole you
It
go
is.
down that you can't get out of.
Well, especially once you put that VR on. Fuck, man, that shit is good.
Yeah, it really turned. I think that was really like a catalyst for me too. Was like I learned how to race on the rig and in VR, and I got into sport mode, like the competitive side, like all at the same time. So it was like the
That's
synergy
awesome.
of just like, yeah, this is like the coolest thing that I've done in a long time.
Hell yeah.
that's awesome. What was the first Gran Turismo that you played nonchalantly?
Like nonchalantly was probably Gran Turismo 4 at buddies' houses and stuff like that. Because even when I was younger, I wasn't really like into racing really that much. I'd like playing GTA and, shoot. I was a young kid basically, so. But yeah, Gran Turismo 4 I played, and then 5, 2 at my buddies' houses I'd go to, and then Sport I played a little bit too. Yeah.
But it was
That was
just
kind of the first one that I nonchalantly played was GT4, and actually I played more Forza. I think it was Forza 4 on my Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah.
I play more of that, but even then I still wasn't really like into racing, or it was just like a game I play. I like the graphics, I guess.
Yeah, the graphics of Forza 4 were pretty good. I will say I played that game, Forza 4, a lot. More
Yeah, it was
than the Gran
super
Turismo
cool.
titles. I think it was Prologue at that time, or maybe it was 4.
The graphics were
yeah, they were
better.
really
The
good.
in-car interior.
And at that time,
was.
Forza they were rocking. And then after that,
Yeah, they were good competition.
They were.
Yeah.
And then also the NASCAR games when I was younger too, I realized was kind of my first, I think, like me getting into the simulation style of racing. Like I remember NASCAR like 2005 or 2006, and I'd be in my little career mode, and they always shorten the races. They always do like 10% of the race or whatever. So I'd be like a little kid, and I'd be like, well, like I'm pretty sure this race in real life is like 200 laps. I'm like, why am I only doing like 15 laps? And so I would crank all the lap times up all the way, and I would like enjoy going into the pits and like having to refuel, and like seeing the split of like, wow, this dude that started in P3 ended the race like all the way in the back, and like what happened over 2 hours of racing, to make that happen. So I guess even like back to those NASCAR games was when it was like the seeds were starting to be planted, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting into
Cool.
getting into the strategy of the racing.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
we loved most.
Yeah, and those endurance races, a lot can happen.
Yeah, that it was. I've been playing since 1. Basically, that was my first serious, other than going to the arcade and playing like pole position.
Yeah, those were the other games too. Yeah, that was
You
basically all
know.
that was there at the time. Huh? It was just like arcade racers,
Yep.
and then
Yep. Yep. There was a I can remember. So this was I was probably 6 or 7 at the Aladdin's Castle. That's what they called it in my local town. You go in there and they had a drag racing game
Oh,
too.
what? Really?
And it was like, yeah, it's a drag racing game. It was a stand-up console, drag racing game that you had to shift the gears, you had to do everything. I can remember that over pole position. Pole position
Mm-hmm.
was what, 2 gears, and you
Yep.
just spun the wheel right and left
Yep.
to get around the corners. Yeah, this was the first time stepping in where you actually had to do more stuff. I don't know how many, you know, hundreds of dollars were put into that machine by just my brother and I, and then Gran Turismo 1 is where it really began. And then, my pinnacle was probably Gran Turismo 4 before I took a long break and then came back to GT Sport when the pandemic happened.
Yep.
And then, got all my gear, actually went like full force into it. What kind of, so what are you working with wheel and base and pedals and all of that, Stu's?
well, I just upgraded to that Logitech G Pro, and it's basically just like
Nice.
it's just the base PS5 model, the pedals and the wheelbase and rim and all that. And I've been getting used to it. It's definitely an improvement from that the Thrustmaster that I had. It's my first direct drive wheel, so.
Yeah.
But
That
I've
changes
only
I
things.
think Digit
had
just
it.
did a video on that.
Did he?
Yeah, I actually just watched that this morning.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did
He
just
did.
watch that this morning.
Oh, yeah. Are
Shout out
you?
to
I know you
Digit.
probably haven't been using it very long, but I heard there was some bugs with the Logitech now with
Oh
that update.
shit! With this update, yeah, unbelievable, dude. Like, yeah, I felt it in the Le Mans race in Daily C for sure. I thought something was wrong with the wheel, but I guess the True
The
Force
True
on it or
Force?
whatever is
Yeah.
not
Okay.
Is
working.
it? Yeah. People
So
are saying
they've
that.
implemented
so
that
that's
into
amazing.
GT7 already. I didn't know that. I didn't know the
Yeah,
True
and
Force
it is a cool, it is a super cool feeling. Like my fiance, when she's in the room, she's like, that made like a crazy noise when I'm going over curbs, like in a good way though. It's not
Right.
making like something's
Yeah.
breaking.
Yeah.
It's like she can
It's letting
hear
you
like
know.
that
Yeah.
I'm like going over a curb or I'm going over some gravel, or it really is. Yeah, you could really feel like some pretty cool detail. I don't know if it helps you race any faster or
Yeah.
anything like
But
that,
you
but
can
it's
feel more.
definitely it's a little more immersive, I think.
That's cool.
So
Especially
you're
with the
going
VR.
through what we went through for a couple months, where
Oh,
for
fuck.
Fanatec users, they took away our force feedback basically.
Uh-huh.
So, and everything turned up, couldn't feel shit. And that was what, 4 months maybe it was like
Yeah,
that?
dude, it was a
Damn, dude. Yeah, no, I
while.
really hope it's not going to be like that. And I wouldn't say that it's all of the force feedback's gone. There's definitely feedback there, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
it's
it
just
was
that's
something
not
that
what
it
it
feels that
was.
they
dead.
would do this right before the
Oh,
World
I know.
Series.
Jesus. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because before I couldn't drive the SF cars, couldn't drive the Red Bull cars.
because there was zero feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing.
it just could
Yeah, I
not
remember
drive those
that
cars
old like
whatsoever.
Mercedes F1 car too. I think people were complaining about, or whichever that car was too. Yeah, a bunch of the old F1 cars.
Yeah, so
Nothing on there.
hopefully in the April update they'll get that fixed for the Logitech
Yeah, watch
D
next
Pro
week. They're like,
guys.
this was the last update that we're giving for Gran Turismo 7, guys. Thank you.
Oh, no.
It's been nice.
Thank you so much for the
GT8 will
support.
be out in 2028, so enjoy the
Yeah.
next 3 years.
We'll see
Yeah,
you
they're
then.
I
like,
mean,
God, that would
Grand Theft
suck.
Auto 6 is coming out, so we're all just giving up. See
Yeah,
you guys
right.
in a little while.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out
Sure.
It is.
in the next 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I think they said
I'll be
early
taking my rig onto there and doing
2026,
street racing.
So,
Yeah.
hopefully it will be out in the next year, but
It would be nice.
we're still
Yeah,
taking it.
hopefully they fix the problem.
Yeah,
whatever happened.
Yeah.
that really sucked.
Yeah,
So, are
'cause
you into? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't
No,
have
please.
No,
anything.
you
I
you
do.
go ahead. You go
insist.
ahead.
Somebody
You first.
freaking
Let's
go.
fucking just say it.
I forgot.
So, are there any? So, do you watch real racing, or do you just play the game?
Just like more recently, be getting into that. What is it? The WEC.
Ooh,
Kind of, I guess,
nice.
not getting into it, but just trying to watch it in passing. Like, especially if I'm like at my dispatch hall for work, if I got nothing, a couple
hell
hours like
yeah.
sitting around, like I'll try to watch stuff that's on there. But no, I don't really keep up with it too much. Like, no professional racing. I'm not really into F1 either. Like, like everyone's into the F1, like the whatever Drive to Survive type of. Yeah, like they're not
Show,
really
yes.
into the F1. But it's because I haven't really given it the time of day. I don't really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Drive to Survive has been a help and a hindrance for Formula One, in my opinion. The drivers were very unhappy with this year's portrayal of things that were happening.
Oh yeah.
Like all of them have been very, very vocal on the creative editing that
Yeah,
Drive
like
to
to
Survive
stir shit
does.
up.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Like anything else. Drama sells.
Well,
So it's
drama,
like-
Drama
it
sells.
brings, it brings ratings.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
brings eyeballs.
let's point out China. China this last weekend,
I don't have
right?
it ready.
No, damn it. China this last weekend, Lewis made a call into the team and said, "Hey, let's swap cars. I'm not fast enough." And then Ferrari came back with, Lewis, you want to swap?" And the creative editing from Formula One made it sound like they were making Lewis swap. And Fred Vasseur was not happy about that. He was like, "What? Formula One's turning into Drive to Survive now?"
Mm-hmm.
He
Starting
was
to bleed
very
over,
unhappy.
dude.
Yeah, he's like, we don't need creative editing when, yes, Lewis was the one who asked to be swapped. When, Charles needed to bump up a little bit, he'd move out of the way for him. So, yeah. And
I
boy,
like
I
it
could
all.
get into some engineering stuff that I saw the other day about what happened with the Ferrari and why the plank was worn away too. So, what so you've hopefully listened to enough of our episodes. What do you think of the state of play of the game right now? Other than the fact that now you have basically a dead stick steering wheel. Other than that, how do you feel about it?
I don't know, it's hard for me because I really don't have like a lot of reference to compare it to other games, and especially like driving with a wheel and pedals. I've not played any other sim. So in terms of like the handling of cars, I can't say comparatively to other games, but I'm happy with the way that everything drives pretty much at the moment. Even when they make BOP changes, like I feel like everything is pretty much fun to drive. Like everything feels at least like halfway, like quote unquote realistic, because again, I've never driven any of these cars in real life, so I don't know, how it compares to real life driving, but I feel like the actual driving is fun. I just feel like the races that they set up are just ridiculous sometimes. Like, I wish that there was more strategy for the races. I wish that there was some sort of damage model so that people wouldn't drive like crazy. I wish that they would, like, all the standard stuff that we complain about, basically, I guess, as Gran Turismo players, I feel like the gameplay-wise is amazing. It's fun. There's just things that they could do, like with the penalty system, with like disciplining drivers. Stuff like that, I think, is the only complaint I have.
What
But
kind of
everything's always
discipline would you
fun.
like to see?
Like a
Dished
slap on the
out.
ass. Like, I want them to go to their house and... No, I don't know, like...
Go get the
I don't
switch,
know,
boy.
like... I don't know,
Like
I
suspended
wish...
for a race, a day, a week,
Yeah, like
can't
I don't know, like
participate.
instant, like ban from the race. Like at whatever race you're in, like if you do something not like if you get over 10 seconds of penalties, like you should not be in the race
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
Like I don't know if you need to be banned for the whole entire week or anything like that, but definitely like you're not competitive in that race anymore. Kick you out of the race.
I
And
think that one of the things they could do is something that's difficult to do is the ping pong
yeah,
Accordion
that's
effects.
weird. Yeah, that's a
accordion
weird
effects that
thing
happen
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
because you get
That's
smashed
lag.
into from behind, and then that causes you to smash into somebody else. So
Yeah.
both you and the guy behind you get a 3 second penalty.
Yeah, and then if
And
they did fix that,
damage.
it would
And the
yeah,
car
and
in front doesn't.
yeah, it
Oh,
would contain a lot of the incidents if they fixed that, whatever's going on there.
and I think, if I think drivers that get, in my opinion, I agree with, if you get a certain amount of collision seconds in a race, yeah, I think they should just immediately drop you from that race. That way you get both a DR and an SR hit immediately. I think
And I
that's
think there
not a
should
bad idea.
be, some sort of like terminal damage too, because I think that would stop a lot of people. Like if you slam your car into the wall and your race is over, you can't continue. Like that alone would stop a lot of incidents. I think a lot of people from
Aggressive
I think
behavior.
I think it would at least let people at least like think for a second, like, oh damn, like I don't want to end up like three cars, ruin three people's
exactly.
race, and then like my race is over too. And
That's why I liked
Yeah.
when in the manufacturers and nations when they were doing the heavy damage for GT1.
yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying because you get caught up in shit that wasn't your fault, but at least
Yeah, exactly.
it kept everybody in check a little bit.
Yeah, I felt like there near the end of that, people were doing pretty good. I was in some pretty good races that everyone was on their best behavior because they don't want to ruin their race, and you don't really get those assholes too much after a while because it's just to them they're just like, it's not worth it, not worth it.
Yeah.
to be in there
Everybody
fucking
started
around.
realizing that, but then they shut it back to light damage, and everybody's like, "Oh shit! Oh!" And now it's
Which
fucking
I
And it's
get
back
too,
again.
but yeah, that's a tough one.
well, I can get away with it now. It's like,
Yeah,
I think they're always trying to make the racing more exciting. Like you can
Yeah.
pull some more crazy moves now if you're just gonna get your damage repaired.
Exactly.
I guess.
I bet they saw probably a pretty big drop off when they probably had the heavy damage on certain
I
races.
think they should.
People quitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
people
honestly-
just quitting and
I also
Drive
think
better.
they should be doing. I think heavy damage should be in race C.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
I
supposed
think
to be
so,
the
too.
pinnacle. I think
Yeah.
it should be heavy damage
Yeah.
there. And yes, I think that they need to put in a terminal damage model.
Dude, that would be great.
You slam into a wall,
your car's
You're
done.
done.
Your
You're
car's
done.
You're
done.
not walking away. You're
Yeah.
not racing.
You torpedo, you're
every-
done.
like
Your
for
whole
example,
account's
like
done.
when you get hit real hard, or you hit something really hard in the game, you get that engine damage, transmission damage kind of thing. If that happens, you're done. Your car is not fixable. Even if you go in the pit, they can fix the suspension, the aero, whatever there. But if you get the powertrain,
Engine transmission, your
like
car's
damage,
done.
you're done. You're otherwise.
Yeah, and then if you had to pay like 80,000 credits to
You have
fix
to
it at
fix
the end of the
it.
race
Yeah,
too, it would
right.
be,
Yep.
Yeah, like replace
I
the
could
go,
engine
what the
and that,
fuck?
like you do, like you have to,
Yeah,
and like
you
oil
have- yeah.
changes and stuff, like you'd have to pay for replacement parts. And hey,
Ooh, there we
maybe-
go. That's actually a great thing. There, PD, since you're not listening, that would be the best thing to do is
Terry,
is
let 'em
make
know.
you
Yeah, to the
let 'em
tons of
know that-
listeners that are listening.
yes,
Yeah.
we should have full heavy damage and
Petition,
be charged for the repairs of the car.
Yeah. Dude,
I think
yeah.
that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that is a good one.
Because realistically, once you're into the game for a little while, the credits aren't a problem anymore,
Yeah.
to a point. So why not, instead of having them build up, you have to put them to use. You have to pay 30 grand or 50 grand or 100 grand, whatever.
Or
it might
you
be
have
for
to, or you
repairs.
just have to buy an entirely
new
new
car.
car.
New car, yeah.
Pardon me, sorry guys.
Yeah, there's probably like 50% of the community that thinks that that's a great idea, and then 50% that thinks that that's terrible.
Well, the 50% that thinks that it's terrible are those guys that have no problem smashing into people. Usually, they just that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, how many races were we in this last week that guys didn't brake going into any of the slow speed corners and just smashed the shit out of everybody. I know I got smashed into. I had several incidences where I barely missed getting hit by somebody who was not on their brakes at all. You know, I think it would be, you've got to buy $1 million Group 1 car. That might,
All right.
probably wouldn't have had issues if you had an iPhone. Just saying.
Yeah. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. Sean, it's
I don't even
2025,
I don't even know.
goddammit.
What are you talking
I
about,
will
Todd? You got a
never
freaking
fucking
Nokia, like
get no
1920s
motherfucking
Nokia.
nothing.
Yeah.
I don't get
Basically,
no nothing.
Todd's second room is one of those giant computers from the 60s that has the reels going back and forth. He's
It's
like, for
12
some reason,
years old.
I can't update anything. I don't know.
I can't. It's old as shit.
I think we know why.
I have an iPhone and an iPad, goddammit.
He's
so-
got the original
That's all you
iPhone.
need.
The original
All you
iPhone.
need.
Yeah, it's still the original iPhone, and he's running a 486 IBM. So,
If
Windows
the original
3.1.
iPhone, if that shit would still work, I would have it.
of course it would.
I would.
Of course it would. He's a Luddite. He is a Luddite until it comes to Gran Turismo. And so
The only reason I have
keep
PlayStation is because of this game.
we keep telling people they need to invest in VR.
Yes.
Like, yes, I mean, honestly, anymore, it's not even a hefty investment. It's still a reasonable investment. But since you went from pad to wheel and flat screen to VR, when you put VR on for the first time, what did you think?
I thought that this was, I instantly saw like the value of it, that this was like incredible technology that, I had never experienced anything like that, having like so much like 3D depth to everything. And it's like, when you see the gameplay of VR and stuff, bless you, when you see the gameplay of VR stuff on screen, it doesn't do it justice of like the feeling that you get when you're actually in it. And the only way I could describe it is, it's like once you see that, like, damn, there's like space between me and the windshield and like the road in front of me, or whatever game you're playing, whatever VR you're playing, once you feel like that 3D space, it really does play like a trick on your brain where you start to feel like you are completely immersed in whatever you're doing, to the point where it was getting to the point where when I would drive like into where the sun would come through the windscreen, I would, if I would see the sun on my character's arms, I would feel the sensation of heat like on my actual body. And it was incredible. And if you're someone that's really, I was always a gamer that was really like I wanted to be fully immersed in the world and the story and the characters or whatever I was playing. And VR it really does, like, it almost puts you exactly like in that spot.
Now, you play multiple VR games.
Yeah.
Where does GT7 rank? Since again, you are an avid VR.
I only play a couple VR games. Like, I really only play.
I play none, except for GT7.
I really only play GT7 and Skyrim in VR is really the only thing that I do. I've messed around with No Man's Sky in VR a little bit, but I just wasn't the biggest fan of the game itself. But I really don't play a lot of VR other than GT7 and Skyrim. So
where does GT7 rank again amongst those two games?
Those two games, I would say they're both pretty incredible experiences. Honestly, they're like both different games, but it's the same way that when you put the VR on and it changes. Like, obviously GT7 is the same game for us as it is for someone who doesn't have a headset, but it's different for us. Mm-hmm. And it's just
What? Hold on.
Sorry,
amazing.
what the hell was that?
I'm sorry.
Like a cat.
That was Homer. I thought apparently I muted my mic, and then went switching for Homer Simpson screaming, "Nerd!" and then forgot that I had muted my mic, and then I wanted to test it because I wanted them to say Skyrim again, and Homer screamed "Nerd!" and it didn't work. Yeah, damn it.
Damn.
Oh,
That's incredible.
Leave it in.
oh, that makes me so unhappy right now.
They're both great. VR is amazing. Yeah, everybody's got to try it. And even if your tummy hurts a little bit, you got to fight through it a little bit and get a little used to it. And
what was the first thing you did in VR for Gran Turismo 7?
Was actually Le Mans. Was Le Mans in that Mercedes, that silver one, the old one, yeah, the CLK, and I can't remember why I was doing that. I can't remember if that was the daily race that we were doing at the time, or if it was just.
I think it might have been a.
I don't know.
Trial.
Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up doing that, but I had COVID at the time, and so I just felt like shit the whole time. So I would just. Yeah, I felt terrible. Honestly, I felt VR. For the first time too. Yeah, and I was just like, "Fuck, dude, I don't know if this. I think I fucked up buying this VR headset." Just nausea and a headache, but I couldn't tell if it was coming from the VR or from COVID. It was from COVID. It was, but that was the very first thing that I did. And then I did a daily race in VR, and then smashed into a couple people in 2 or 3 races, and then finally kind of started figuring out my depth perception with the VR, and then it all started making sense. I think it was a daily race, and I think it was a dynamic weather at Le Mans, and again it was this perfect holy shit, dude, this is what sim racing is about.
Really suck you in there.
Yeah,
it does, dude. It just intensifies, and
dude, it's the best.
Makes
first thing I did as soon as I was able to do the little stupid setup install. I loaded GT7, and jumped in the Group 3 Porsche and went to the Nürburgring.
That's a trial by fire. I did the same thing. That'll make your stomach flip upside down on you. This is so. We've been paying attention to Stooseman for quite a while. I think Todd was the first one to go, yeah, I think he's racing in VR too. And we were like, so you got into it's funny because you got into our heads. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, shit, why don't we have Stooseman on? I saw you one day, and so I was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? What I said was, Todd wants you to come on the podcast.
I don't. Todd does.
I don't know. Because Todd knows everybody. Todd is that guy that knows everybody.
He does.
And then this is how I knew I was gonna like him, because he was like us. Because I was like, how about March 30th? 10 a.m. He said, sounds good. Let's shoot for it. I sent him a thumbs up and an okay sign. And then I sent him a finger pointing into the okay sign. And he responded with a biting lip. So I was like, all right, this is definitely somebody that we can get along with.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's cool about Gran Turismo too, is the community is just, a lot of us are just like us, just a bunch of
dildos. There's
I was just gonna say, to get back to Gran Turismo, but what is your favorite cars or class of cars to drive in VR?
I mean, this is gonna sound pretty cliche, but they're all pretty, they all in VR, when you actually are in the cockpit, and when you don't have that rev meter and all of the HUD things, every car really does become its own, their own. A little thing. And then I'm not a big car guy in real life. I'm straight up just I'm just a video game nerd. I just love playing games. So I'm not the biggest like car dude. I don't know anything about parts or history of cars or anything like that. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite in the game too.
I love it.
So hold on a second. You are a video game.
Con Yeah, no,
True
straight up,
gamer.
yeah, true gamer, dude. Like,
Nice.
True
yeah,
and
like
true.
got made fun of in elementary school for all that shit. Now gaming is cool, I guess. I don't know what happened, but
People are making millions of
yeah,
dollars
yeah.
doing
Millions.
it.
I mean, gaming was cool for us just to be gaming.
Right?
yeah.
Oh,
Have you decided on a manufacturer for the new official season that's starting?
I have, yeah. I went with Lexus, just
Lexus.
because it was what. I mean, I tried a couple things out over the exhibition things, and then Lexus just happened to be the one where I felt like I did the best in. So,
Right on.
RCF.
and
I
I
mean,
feel like
if
a
you
lot of
can-
people don't like driving that thing too. So
It's a difficult
little
one to
sketchy.
drive. It
I
has
like
a
it.
weird.
It's
It has
sketchy.
a bit of a torque issue. If you're not careful coming out of the corners, it definitely bites you real
She
fast.
can be a little snappy.
Yeah.
How is it with
Yeah,
the BOP change and the weight and all that? Does it feel better?
I haven't driven it
Oh,
yet. I
okay.
haven't not driven it yet.
Okay.
I have to. I'm probably gonna test
might-
it out
you-
for the
you-
first
you're gonna-
time
you-
tomorrow.
you
I know
might-
maybe I'll
you-
made a
Hope you didn't sign
made
the
a bad
contract
choice.
already.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you signed the contract already. We're locked in,
Oh,
baby.
you locked
Oh,
in.
shit.
Going.
All right.
Fuck it.
He's
Let's
committed.
go. Hell
Well,
yeah.
Sean's already committed
Yep.
too.
I signed my contract.
Yeah, what are you guys going?
I'm
What are you
going
guys going?
Ferrari. I'm going
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ferrari. Just after me and Todd did some testing yesterday and driving a bunch of different cars, it felt the best to me. So I just fucking went with it. And after driving that Huracan for the last Expedition series, of
Oh,
Oh, fuck. Anything
manufacturers.
feels good.
Well, it's crazy because
Everything
the
feels good.
Huracan at the end was starting to feel
It's feeling
pretty
pretty good.
goddamn good. It's just
Dude,
it had
yeah.
some understeer, but the Ferrari with the camera and everything, the bitch just turns in so good. So
It's not that the Huracan started feeling. It just we were starting to get used to it, so it didn't feel as shit. I
Yeah.
think it was. It wasn't that it was feeling good. It was just not feeling like shit. Because
Yeah, I
as soon as
think-
I got out of that car, everything was like, "Oh my god, this is way better."
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it was.
Although it felt great at the Nürburgring, and I think that was because of the weight.
Nürburgring was.
I think because of its
really
weight
good.
and in any of the rain races, that car was fucking fast.
Mhm.
It handled the rain so well.
Do you guys think it's gonna rain at all in any of them?
Oh yeah,
Yes, I think it's going to rain.
Nürburgring
I
will.
think
Spa.
I think
Yeah.
it's going to rain Nürburgring.
And maybe
will.
even
Race.
Suzuka.
It will.
Maybe even Suzuka.
Pardon?
Three
Yeah,
of the
at
six.
least
Yeah.
3 of the races.
I
Yeah.
can confirm that it will rain at Nürburgring. The data
Hard.
mined GT engine for settings shows rain.
Mhm. And then it shows
Start-
random too.
It
It has
will.
like sunny,
It-
cloudy,
yeah,
rain, and then it says
interesting.
random.
So it's gonna actually be that fully dynamic where you don't know what's gonna happen.
like
What a way to
the
start
last
it
race.
off.
Yeah,
You know
don't
what?
know
I'm
you're
not.
gonna
I'm
get.
not going to complain.
I
I'm
like
not going
it.
to complain because I love that. But at the same time, if you're holding a championship season of sorts and races, those races have to be equally competitive, and the weather and the settings should be fixed.
Yeah.
A fixed dynamic.
Yeah, then it's a little
Whatever
too,
it is,
then it's a little too
because-
random.
Exactly. You can't have have a guy doing well in one lobby because it's fully dry, but he would suck and dies in the
Right, in
rain.
the rain.
You know what I mean? You have to have a equal competition across. So if it's going to be weather, have the weather, but have it as a fixed pattern.
Mhm.
Whether anybody can find out and practice it ahead of time, no, but at least have that fixed so that it's an equal competition across all slots.
Well, that's one of our big issues too, is the fact that we're not allowed to take settings into practice lobbies from, the actual official races, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways I understand why they do it, but man, because they
You're not
really
going to know
want
in real life.
Yeah,
you know,
you know you're going to
you
that
get your
track, but you don't
forecast
know
10
what.
days before.
Why
and
Why don't you
just-
load
Yeah.
up the weather for
Yeah.
October 15th, please?
yeah.
Well,
But we know it's 5 laps, so it's usually going to be either 3 wet, 2 dry, or 3 dry, 2 wet.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like we've done it
usually how
enough.
this
We
race
should.
goes.
We have a pretty
We
good
have.
And
idea.
here's the one thing as well I noticed, because it's not last time we just did this race basically,
Yep.
but it was a 6 times multiplier and like 4 or 5 fuel multiplier. It's
And
only
it's
a 1
3-1.
fuel and three tires on
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
what that's going to do is, depending on the weather pattern, because it's going to be so variable, you will have that chance of where some of the races might, by the end of the lap, it's way too wet for slicks and guys are out of control. You can do the undercut, get to the intermediates, and not have them burned completely out by the end of the lap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's too dry at the first part of the lap. Like I
Right.
tried that like last time, because of the high multipliers, it basically killed you.
Jesus.
Eat your
Yeah.
tires.
But
Eat
at
your
times
tires.
3, you'll be able to. They'll have some wear, but you'll be actually able to make it around. And then once the rain hits them, they'll be fine. So
And we know that Zwart is going McLaren.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
He put out a YouTube video. Finds
He's
Zwart
going
racing
McLaren.
on YouTube.
I am a toss up between the McLaren and the NSX.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I will
Ooh.
not be going Porsche. Porsche just feels like a dog now.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels so slow.
There's going to be a ton of drivers in Porsche too anyway.
Yeah.
People are still going to
Yeah.
pick it.
Do you still think?
Tons of
Okay.
people.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you'll have a
think
good
so.
chance in the NSX and McLaren for sure.
Yeah, so
Excuse
it comes down to that decision. I drove the AMG. I drove the Merc also, and man,
Same.
it felt so good, but it was so slow through all of the technical bits that I couldn't come close to even my Porsche
Right.
time in it.
I just hate that long
Because it
nose
just-
too on it.
Dude,
I almost went with that.
I went from the
That's
Merc.
what I'm leaning towards.
I went from the
AMG.
Merc to the 4C,
Mm-hmm.
and the 4C it felt like I was in a go-kart.
Oh, dude, yes.
Oh my gosh, it went from the giant long nose to
Right.
having no nose at all, and I'm like, oh wow. And the 4C felt
You
great,
could
and
fit
it
the
felt
4C
fast.
probably inside the front and rear
Right.
axle.
Oh
of
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like that car is
Yeah,
just so fucking
I think that's why I like
tight.
MR cars more, is because the nose isn't.
They're
so
more
long.
compact.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more
And me and Todd were talking about it
Shorter
too
wheelbase.
yesterday. Do you guys find it like with the VR now, it takes you a little bit more to choose your manufacturer because each car is so different, how it's laid out, if it has a rear view or a camera or nothing at all. You can really feel the differences in each car more with the VR, so it kind of takes longer to choose and what feels
Ooh.
comfortable.
It really does.
I have
I'm
an
having a hard
announcement.
issue.
I have an announcement to make.
Oh.
Mike has gone with McLaren.
What? You signed? You signed right now?
Yeah.
Oh, he did the
I'm gonna
deed
say
on the
this to
pod.
everybody out there. I don't want to
650.
give it away, but the fucking McLaren is a goddamn beast.
It did feel good
650.
when I drove it.
What are its numbers, Mike? What's horsepower
Yeah.
and weight?
The BOP is one of the highest MR for BOP right
Power
now.
to
It's
weight
like,
ratio.
That was up
yeah,
there.
but it's also it's insane how much it has. It's I gotta find the stats here. Where are we?
I don't know.
I'll tell
No, yeah, it's
you.
400.
477
Yeah,
and 2,899 pounds.
yeah, and it's 368 power to weight ratio, which is fairly high on the scale. So
Yeah, and part of the reason Mike is go with McLaren also is because it has left-hand drive.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
He's going to be more comfortable in it.
Yeah, I did some testing. Both the NSX is good, but honestly, the right-hand drive kind of throws you off in VR a bit if you're not ready for it. But the McLaren, though, I got behind it. I'm going to put it this way: it feels like the Porsche used to.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I put for me anyways, doing practice setting with the settings from Nürburgring race. I put 3 to the rear and it rotated, but it burns to push it hard and get it through the corners, which it does fairly easy. You really do kill the front tires. But it just goes through everything. It's great on the curbs. It like you hit the curbs, you're not flying completely off the track. You just fly right over them. It feels fast down the straights, and it's fast in the corners too. So
Interesting.
Yeah, it's got some good visibility too out that windshield.
oh yeah, it does. It looks good inside.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
like the
now
McLaren.
I've got to make that decision too.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm thinking about it.
McLaren.
Yeah, because you're going to want to, yeah.
I might
one
want
or the other.
I might want to do a little bit of testing.
Yeah, do a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do a
the
little bit of
RCF,
testing
that's
to
at 454
Yeah.
horsepower and weighs 2,866 pounds.
Ooh, good,
Yeah, most of the front engine rear drive cars, the weights are way down.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
No, the AMG's heavy.
the
The
Mazda
AMG,
is
I
quick.
think. So here's the AMG. This has 460 horsepower, but weighs 2,987 pounds.
Damn.
It's a big bitch.
She's
It's
hefty.
heavy.
It's probably why it feels so comfortable too, is because of the weight.
What did the Vantage go to while you're on there? What's the Vantage?
I'll tell you.
Because that lost the most weight, right?
Advantage. Yeah, that thing on the diet. Do I not have the Vantage?
Looks like the Renault is pretty quick. A lot of Renault, the RSO ones up in the top leaderboards now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, a lot of them.
You said the Vantage. Hold on a second. I think
I do not have that car.
I don't have it in this account. I don't have the Vantage in this account. I do
Yeah,
not.
we never really drove. I think we drove that one time in sport for manufacturers.
So the Viper, 475 horsepower, weighs 2,910 pounds.
Damn. Yeah, if you sat better in that, if you didn't have to reposition your seating in that car every time, that'd be a contender. I do like the Viper with its long nose.
What's the BRZ at?
Oh, dude, the BRZ.
The BRZ got
434 horsepower and weighs 2,943 pounds.
Yeah.
It's still fairly people can. It's in the leaderboard for right now, but it is. It's been destroyed.
Nerve.
You have to be one of those BRZ pros to get it to go fast now.
Dude, that's probably no brakes whatsoever. No brakes.
But check out
and
the
it's
4
also
GT.
right hand. And it's also right-hand drive, that one, too, which is kind of annoying for the...
The Ford GT is 442 horsepower, but it weighs 2,800 pounds.
Yeah. Look at the fucking, the NSX.
Yeah,
that
that's like
thing's
480
strong.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 2912 or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it difficult. It's
483 horsepower, weighs 2,919 pounds.
Yeah. So out of all the MR, it's actually one of the best as well. Yeah. And what was it? I was looking at the impact. What was I? For the performance points. The impact fucking on everybody. Where is it? The 650 was the least impacted of the good MRs that we drive, and then the NSX was right behind it. Porsche was actually the most impacted.
Damn.
Yeah, that car has 443 horsepower and weighs 2,932 pounds.
That Porsche
is the Porsche. Yeah.
How about the Ferrari? The Ferrari.
That's like, what, 449?
Yeah. And like 29.
Here.
It was actually minimally
449 horsepower, weighs 2,943 pounds.
Yeah. It lost one of the least amounts of power and whatnot, and only had a little bit of weight. It was third least impacted.
Perfect.
What's the Supra at?
Dude, Mike.
461? Dude, the Supra weighs 2,767
I thought they were supposed to be fixing the Supra so it wasn't so goddamn fast. Jesus Christ.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Let's tell who's daddy's favorite. Fuck.
Damn, yeah. Can you suck Toyota's dick a little bit more? Jesus.
This is all I can think about right now is that you guys are
Well, it's funny
Come
because
on. How many numbers are we going to go through?
yeah, it was actually
2,700 pounds,
it
444
was
horsepower.
If you triangulate the suspension and equal that to the amount of horsepower and the amount of weight,
Oh,
you
it's
fuck.
equal.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's actually it's funny because it's like that Supra, right? It's still one of the fastest cars on the top right now.
Dude.
In the rankings for a time trial for the first
Did they
first
actually?
round.
They made it lighter, didn't they?
Well, here's the thing: is it
27?
Dude, that's fucking
67? That's the
insane.
lightest car, dude.
That's
it is
insane.
Yeah, I thought the Ford GT was at 2,800, but
yeah
no.
the Supra was actually the most impacted on the update, and it's still
to make it better.
an OP car. Like that's how fucked up it is. Like it's still so overpowered. They can nerf it worse than any of the cars in the game in the update, and it's still better than everything.
Everything.
And it has
It
one
only
of the
got 5
worst
pounds.
cockpits for VR.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah,
It
it's just,
sucks.
it's
That's why I can't drive that car.
Same.
I can
Same.
drive it,
I
but
like the car.
it's
Yeah, VR sucks.
In VR, I cannot drive that fucking thing.
I can, but I find it annoying. So
It's weird. It's the weirdest cockpit in the game, I think.
The small steering
It's
wheel
small,
and
and the way
shit
you
throws
get
me
the
off.
Tiny steering wheel is weird. The tiny
Yeah.
steering wheel's weird.
yeah, you like feel like stretched arms, small wheel.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
when you
Stretch
sit, you
arms
got to
strung
kind
in
of
there and
like,
shit.
yeah, it's weird.
Hell
And then
no.
the pillars and the roll bar in the way in the corner.
Ugh.
God
Yeah. So are you
dude.
boys excited then for manufacturers, the official
Yes.
GTWS
Oh,
season
fuck
to
yeah.
fucking start? I'm stoked.
Oh, yeah.
Can't
Finally.
wait.
I am now that I signed.
Right? Hells. Yeah, I
I'm
can't
still
wait.
undecided, but I'll probably go AMG.
I wish I would have drove
Oh,
more
really?
C this
Okay.
week. Ooh, Todd
Yeah.
AMG.
Yeah, with the heavy, yeah, it's a challenge.
No Honda?
I'm gonna say
Honda
that-
boys, baby.
Big.
Honda boys. Honda for life.
V-Tech.
Yeah.
V-Tech.
I'm
Happy
going to say
Honda
this. I
days.
think it's going to be a very competitive season. I think whether people like the changes or not, I think the new BLP update has brought more cars into the mix.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. That's what me and
I
Todd were
agree.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the decrease of power and the added weight has also, I was saying this to Jim, made it a little bit more for casual racers, easy use again. Because of that, you're not going as quick, so you can brake a little easier into corners because the speed's down a bit. Coming out of the corners, you can get on the gas more because you got less power. You're not going to get that wheel spin oversteer as much. So it's kind of taken that edge off the cars just that little bit and brought them a little bit more competitively together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gonna be a good season, and I can't wait for Wednesday to get here so we can get this shit rolling. I like too that they're doing a lot earlier than usual. We're beginning in April, 6 rounds. I think the times are about the same too, 3, 5, and 7 for us. So.
No,
I think
no,
they changed
no,
it. They're a little
changed
later.
it. They made it better. It's 5, 7, 9 again.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Yes.
they've actually opened it up.
Fuck yeah.
So it's 5, 7, 9
that's
again.
good.
Fuck yeah.
We get 2 shots.
See
now
people
instead of
on the
one.
West Coast. Yeah, aren't fucked.
They heard us.
Yeah.
Loud and
Well,
clear.
I'm sure there's a big fan base. I mean,
Yeah, West Side,
between
baby.
California, just on the coast and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, look at population, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Vancouver all the way down to San Diego and shit. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
even like from like,
the 3 guys in Vancouver, eh? Down there
Yep.
to San
yeah,
Diego.
there's 4 of us now, eh?
Four?
Oh, hey, 4. Oh, that's too funny. So, where are you located, Stoos? Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in like the greater Los Angeles area
Oh, okay.
and all the nonsense over there. So
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah,
I
sounds
heard the
fun.
Los Angeles area is absolutely beautiful.
it's, well,
With the homeless and the fires, that's
it is. It's honestly, it is beautiful, but it's also getting like unbelievable here too. So yeah, it's getting crazy.
That's why I only visit Sacramento for friends and Huntington Beach for friends.
Yeah, Huntington Beach.
Yeah,
baby.
Huntington Beach. Yeah, I have some family out there, and Yeah, so
Yeah, we love Huntington
it's not really
Beach.
exactly where I hang out, but it's nice over there,
It
though.
is.
Oh,
Love it over there.
it is so nice in Huntington Beach.
And supercar spotting is great over there.
Oh my gosh! You
Yeah,
go down
there are a bunch of people. I don't know if people actually own them or if people are renting those things or what the deal is, but
I think a mix. Probably.
Yeah,
Let's just- let's
yeah,
just
it's gotta be a
probably.
mix.
Some rich
We
show
went-
offs and some actual rich show
People are
offs.
fucking
Yeah,
rich
no,
down there.
we went to the Fashion Island Mall in Newport Beach, and there was a $750,000 Lamborghini sitting in the parking lot. So, and then the regular Ferraris were in the lower part of the parking garage.
the regular Ferraris.
Your California
I mean-
Romas and your Romas and your Californias and your women Ferrari cars.
Yeah, the lady cars.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was pink. One of them was pink. So.
There you go. Those
Yeah.
cars are
Don't
for
let-
the ladies. Sorry, everybody.
Don't-
but Ferrari has lady cars.
Don't let Ferrari see that.
Nope.
Ferrari sees
Ferrari,
that. They're gonna
California.
Oh, yeah.
snatch your car
When I
away
see a
from
dude
you.
driving one of those, I just shake my head. I'm like, dude, out of all
Well,
the Ferraris, you
listen.
pick a fucking California.
He and
Jesus.
he and his multiple gay partners love going out on drives at the Top Gun.
I'm sure they
Let's
do.
be honest.
Top
They
down in
love
that
driving down the
California.
coast, scarves over their hair like Thelma and Louise, just heading down the PCH. Girl, this is the greatest drive.
Great time in the Ferrari, guys. California. We love California.
So, it was so bad. I saw a Lamborghini Gallardo and it was like, oh, there's a Lamborghini. Like, oh, there's a Lamborghini. And everybody, I mean, apparently every soccer mom drives a 911
Jesus.
because the amount of 911s was just
yeah, there
incredible.
are a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Dime a dozen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like driving a Corolla.
Right?
But interestingly enough, I don't think anybody's like, I can't ever find people that are into like racing or anything like
Really?
that. Though it's just kind of having the nice car, I guess.
Dang.
I haven't really met
Image
anybody that's really like
status.
Yeah.
too much
Fuck
like
that.
into the actual.
That's wild.
Yes, the status is high. Oh, no, it's
Competing with the Joneses.
That's right.
Yep.
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll make you go
not.
broke.
Oh. Yeah, well, you got to keep up with the Newsoms.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny that there are only two
Good old
spots in
Gavin.
California that I like. And one everybody calls a cow town, but I've never had more fun in a city than going to Sacramento. Like, yeah, I grew up in the area, but it's still,
Capital, Sacktown.
yeah, you go to Capital City and it's a great town. It's a great, you can actually do things there. And then going down to Huntington Beach is, that's a conservative's paradise.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice,
is.
you don't have they don't put up with
Monterey's
the
pretty
bums.
badass.
Yeah, Monterey is nice.
I still need to go up there. I have a bunch of people that tell me to go up there
Oh,
into their
yeah.
aquarium over
Yeah,
there
you need to
too.
go up
Dude,
there.
yeah, Monterey is
Monterey is
absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous. It is.
You go to the rich areas and they chase out
Starbuck.
all of the bums.
Mhm.
They're not allowed to happen. It's true. You go to San Francisco and that's where all the bums go. They either go there or they go to L.A.
LA,
Because
yeah.
they chased
Both of
all
which
the
are
bums out of
terrible.
Sacramento. So they must have all gone to L.A. or San Francisco.
Yep.
I think it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy.
Yep.
To see what we say about tangents. This is the
Got
tangent
sidetracked,
podcast.
but it
Yeah,
worked.
no, it's true. But yeah, I definitely see like a homeless person on the freeway with like a blanket when I'm trying to drive to work. Like it definitely happens more often than you think. Someone just crossing the freeway.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
all
no.
sorts of just like crazy stuff happening. So
Let's see. It's
That's
not
like
that much
here.
better. It's not that much better in Portland
Nope.
where we live.
Yep.
It's-
And we drove
it's-
through Portland this last weekend. Kids are on spring break, so we went up to the Japanese gardens. And then after there, we were
you
like,
got
let's
to go to the Japanese
Oh yeah,
gardens.
love that place. And then
Must have been beautiful.
oh, cherry blossoms were blooming, baby. They were looking
They're
top
blossoming.
notch. Oh.
yeah,
looking
we were at
great.
the zoo. We were at the zoo yesterday, so
Oh.
not that far away. The zoo was good.
Nice.
Had a good
Yeah,
time.
right there is nice, but you drive downtown and we hit waterfront to go look at those cherry blossoms to drive by. Ooh,
No,
Lordy Jesus.
I would exactly
Curtain.
drive
They're
by.
Dude, it's bad. Yeah, drive by. Don't get out. Roll them
Drive
up.
by, don't
I
get
told
out.
the kids, roll them up. Roll them up.
Yep.
Roll them up.
Yeah, it's still bad in
Lock the
downtown.
windows.
Yep.
Let's see, we've
Lock the
got
doors.
3 or 4 campers on our block at work.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, yep. You can't get rid of them for some reason.
Well, if
You
the
get rid of
people
them for
that
2
said
days.
they were going to help all these homeless people, if they'd stopped taking the money to help the homeless people because they pay
It's
themselves.
the same thing that's
What a
happening over here
hefty,
too.
Hefty
It's the
salary.
same exact thing that's happening here.
Yeah, they got such a big salary, but yet they don't help those homeless people out that much. So they need to figure that shit out too. And then I heard California with their CalMed, you guys are about to go fucking bankrupt here in a couple years because you guys gave everyone fucking medical.
Dude, my health insurance every year. Well, I'm a type 1 diabetic,
Skyrockets.
so
Oh shit!
freaking yeah. Every year they cover less and less and charge me more
charge
and
you
more.
and more.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
It's like-
ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
It's like,
Well,
why am I
Well,
with
yeah,
paying
because
these
you're
fuckers?
paying for 20 million people to fucking
Yep.
have insurance
Yep.
who aren't
Yeah,
from
who knows how many? Yeah, who knows?
California.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Who knows
Well, I
what's
mean,
going on over here?
our insurance premiums were going to go up 28% at work with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Wow.
28%. So we switched carriers, and it still went up like 14 or 15%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
ridiculous.
it's crazy.
I don't even go to the doctor. I'm like, why the fuck do I even need this insurance? For just in case. I pay
I was just
you
gonna
for
say-
just in fucking case. God
Yeah.
damn, fuck that. No.
Well,
I'll just-
dude, it's
AI is my
I'm
doctor now.
I'm glad I have insurance because, with all the shit that I've
AI
been
will
going
steer you
through.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
AI
right.
girlfriend's
Yeah.
the doctor. No, sweetheart, you're okay.
Here, just take this.
Let's put it this way: Stooseman and I, diabetes boys in the house.
Right.
Do you have it too? You have it too?
I have the 2. I don't have the 1, thank God.
Oh,
Still
Thank
got
God.
that. Believe me,
Here, folks.
thank fucking God.
Diabetes one.
but it still is. It's like I just got an update. Oh, your metformin is ready for a refill. Shit like that. But
Yeah, they
thank
try to
God
make it exciting for you. They send you the
Yeah.
text updates and like,
Yeah.
whoo, you come pick it up now. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you can
Fuck
pick
yeah.
up that medication so your blood sugar isn't at 400. It's yeah, it's. But if I hadn't, with all the stuff that I've been going through for the past few months trying to figure everything out, if I hadn't had insurance, I would have
Yeah,
been
you've been
fucked.
fucked. Yep.
Dude, you see, the lab bills come in and it's like $400
sucks.
each time I get labs.
Yeah.
Dude, it bankrupts people.
Yeah. And
You
it
know,
shouldn't
if
be
you-
like
you-
that
No,
It
it
shouldn't. Nobody
No,
should
and
go
that's-
bankrupt for fucking
for being
healthcare.
healthy. Yeah.
No.
Yep, that's what happens when they don't do. I don't want universal health care because Mike has to deal with that. He
Yep.
knows what it's
Yeah.
like.
Ask Canada
You
how
get
that is.
psychos.
It sucks, but but making it a requirement to have insurance. I mean, how much of a kickback did Obama get on that?
Right. Quite a bit.
You to require insurance for people.
Yeah, and then you got
And then
fucking
go-
docked it. If you didn't have it, you got charged money.
Yeah,
because
you got
didn't have it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had several friends who just went
Guilty.
without insurance because it was cheaper to pay the whatever
did.
$1,400
whatever
or
you go to
$1,200.
the doctor.
Yeah,
Pay per use.
it's cheaper to get docked by the government
Mm-hmm.
than it was to carry insurance.
Yeah.
And it's like I saw a story on the inner tubes where a dude had insurance but got a bill that said for a ambulance ride.
Oh God.
And the bill
Yeah, it's
and
not covered by insurance.
the bill was covered by California insurance. It was a $600 bill. He had regular insurance, and it was $1,200. So if you have
Jesus.
the California subsidized insurance, it's half the cost of having regular insurance.
Good Lord.
How do you
The
like
price
that?
gouging and
Yeah.
yeah,
Right?
it's highway robbery.
It
Well, and what
is.
they've done to
It's
the insurance companies when it comes to the fires too.
Yeah.
It's impossible to get housing insurance
Oh yeah.
in so
mm-hmm.
many
They're
places
fucked.
now.
Fire,
They're
yeah, yeah.
fucked. They are
Yeah.
fucked.
That's what happens when the government tries to control everything. Sorry. It's how it is. I know,
And, and the funny thing is, like that kind of situation is like they were told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they don't do this and if you don't start doing this,
We're not going to
Yeah, we're
we're
gonna
insure
pull
pulling.
out.
We
And they've been
can't.
telling for years. They were telling them for years, and
We
they're
can't
just like,
afford
yeah,
it.
no, well, no,
You're in
sorry,
a
we're not doing
danger
that. It's like,
zone.
okay, see you later. They could have
We're
had
only
the
drying
insurance. The
flammable
insurance company
here.
wanted to work with them, but they wouldn't listen to them. If you do these minor things over the next couple of years, you'll be in a way better situation. We'll insure everybody still. You don't listen, they fuck on, fuck off.
Yeah, no, the
yeah.
And I don't
fires here
blame
is
them.
definitely one of those things that were happening worse and
Yeah,
worse and more every
yeah.
year. So
And I don't
Huh.
blame the like the insurance companies and that for that, because it's like they're a business, and yeah, they're not there like to necessarily make our millions of dollars. They're there to help make sure you're not screwed in the big scheme of things. But if to help you be screwed, then them go bankrupt, which would have happened if they insure fire insurance on everybody, they would have went bankrupt.
yeah, well, that's how
And
big of a
everybody would
problem
have
it
been screwed.
became.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody would have been screwed anyways. So yeah, don't blame them for backing out. Blame the government for not listening.
Hey, how about that
Yeah,
forest management, California? How many people
yeah,
have you killed?
yeah.
And then
And then
allowing,
water. You let all your water
well,
go.
then you allow the best is you allow um the major power supplier in Northern California to claim bankruptcy when they get sued by the families of people who died in the fires, because instead of repairing the lines like they were supposed to, instead they put that money into their pockets and did bonuses for the board of directors and shit like that. And for a bankruptcy judge to go, oh yeah, you can do that. How much did he get paid off to?
Oh, cash is
Mhm.
king, baby. Cash is
Like
king.
don't allow. Well, if we get charged for this, we're not going to be able to survive. Really? Because how much money did you give to the people on your board because you saved a lot of money on not doing the repairs that were needed?
Yeah. Well, how are we all going to get $10 million bonuses if we
I
do all
Exactly.
gotta
this
Yeah,
pay
other
for
stuff?
my
Christmas
Porsche,
bonus.
guys.
You
I
know,
need
Christmas
to make my
bonus.
Yeah.
payment.
we don't want stock options going down at
Right?
all.
Shit.
Yeah. That's
Fucker.
another thing. I don't think utilities should be able to go public.
No.
No.
You should not be withholden to
No.
to stock
Fuck no.
to the stock exchange. It's really super fucked. On another note,
Mhm.
just real fast, um, what do you think about the flip for Formula One, Lawson
I
and
know already.
Sonoda? Like
Already.
Two
two
races.
two races.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been saying this is part of the problem with Red Bull
Yep, it is.
Hmm.
It
Oh, it's a
is.
huge problem.
Dude, they're
because
gonna
of how
drive
they treat
themselves
their
in the ground.
drivers.
Max is gonna
Yep.
leave. Max is
Hmm.
gonna leave.
I think Max, the rumors are Toto Wolff's been talking with
Yeah.
Max.
But
Yep.
what happens there? Russell goes, and then it's
Yeah,
Max and Kimmy.
Yeah.
because his contract is up.
Oh
Max,
shit!
yeah,
Yeah. And Red Bull, whatever's been happening, Red Bull's basically opened the door for Max's exit clause.
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I heard
because
So
they're
he can technically back out anytime, walk away anytime now, because of the shit
Aston
that
and
they've been doing.
Honda.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes
There's a few
well, yeah,
options
it
for him.
depends. There's an option
yeah,
at
because
there's
he's doing
definitely at
the
Aston.
GT3 and World Challenge with the Aston.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what I think.
definitely.
I honestly think it's their Mercedes.
Yeah, and dude, that's
well. You got to
where
figure both
his
drivers
buddy
next
went.
year are gone for Aston.
And knew
Yeah.
he's at
Well,
Aston.
that's the other thing too. He likes his team, his friends, and that his circle. So he might tighten that circle. And look at all the bullshit he's had to put up with over the last couple of years with Red Bull. If you get your tight community and you're racing in different disciplines now, and having to deal with that, like you might as well go under one banner. instead of having to deal with conflict of interest and contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there could be a big change coming
Oh
there
yeah, I
when it
think
comes down to it. Yeah,
rumors of Red Bull might even fall apart and not exist. I hear in a couple years.
Yeah.
Well, if they keep going this way, yeah.
They're
Because then
destroying
Cadillac
business.
takes their
Well,
spot and they're
and
gone.
then you have, everybody. We already knew this. Everybody finding out that Helmut Marko is just a piece of shit.
Yeah, yes, he's a dickhead.
He is, and apparently there was a meeting this last week that did not include him.
Ooh.
There is a big meeting between the engineers and I forget some of the higher ups in Red Bull, and Marco was not at that meeting.
Yeah, I think he just thinks he knows. He's king shit, knows everything. He knows all the answers.
Yeah.
Put this guy in the car. Oh wait, no, put this guy in the car. Dude, if I was Yuki, I would have declined. I said, "Nah, I'm good. I want to stay in my car.
Yeah.
I'm good."
Yeah, because the racing bull looks good.
Yeah,
it does.
Fuck that. Do not switch me. That's a curse.
Well, I mean, they were patient with Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if some bad luck happened and he puts 4 bad races together? Is he out after?
No, he'll only be allowed 2 races. That's what it looks like.
That's the window. I mean, but
then he goes back to fucking Red Bull.
Well, and I think you look at the fact that Max, yes, is driving the car quickly, but Max is also a driver that loves driving a challenging car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he can rise to that challenge. I think your average Formula One driver gets into that Red Bull and they can't drive it because it's undrivable.
Well, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like this car is showing what kind of skill Max actually has.
Mm-hmm.
This car is not for the timid or the unknowledgeable. You need to have experience, have skill, everything to help. And it's still hard for him to put it near the front.
Yeah. Dude,
it's just not a good car.
How can you expect a rookie or a young guy who hasn't really done even a season or anything like that, like to jump into a car that's almost undrivable, and do well
and perform?
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then 2 races, it's just like, and look what they did to like Albon. And now look at him, like, you know what I mean? If they hadn't put the pressure on him, they could have had him still there. They could have, you know what I mean? Like, and he would have been probably doing pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, he would have been probably a lot more competitive than anybody else they've been putting into the car if they had just worked and developed the driver with the car.
Yeah, and Albon had issues because he also got wrecked. He didn't wreck. He got wrecked a couple of times, and they counted that against him. Yeah. And I'm like, how can you do that? How can you say that you getting wrecked by somebody else hitting you, and I think it was actually Hamilton who hit him both times, how can you look at that and say, well, that's his fault? So, and because, I mean, he was doing fine in the car compared to other people.
I agree with Todd what he just said there, and I hope for God that Liam Lawson has that mental fortitude to pull through this. But I think they've destroyed Liam Lawson. Yeah. I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's basically lost his whole career because of them. I don't think he's necessarily got that strength to carry on after being shit on like that. Like, you put all the weight of the world on, put him against the world champion, and as soon as like this car,
you give him 2 races,
in this bullshit car that even Max is saying this car is on the edge of undrivable. You know what I mean? Like he's constantly complaining about the car too, and yet you shit all over this kid because he's a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, you just wrecked another career.
Yep.
I think they really did. It's too bad.
When Juan Pablo Montoya switched from Formula One to NASCAR, one of the things that he said was remarkable is the mental fortitude of the NASCAR drivers. You know, shit doesn't get to them. They go out there, they have to deal with some rubbing and bumping and shit like that, and the next week they come back with the same mental attitude. Formula One drivers are not that way. They get destroyed.
They're prima donnas.
Yeah, they get destroyed
all
mentally easily.
Their whole lives.
You know,
like, you're the best, you're the fastest, and when shit doesn't go their way, they fucking break.
Yep, something little happens and it destroys all their confidence because they don't have that happen to
They
them.
were all coddled and catered to, and most dirt track racers and shit, they're building their cars, working on it, and
Well, and I think that mental fortitude
NASCAR drivers
goes.
are a different breed.
I think that mental fortitude also comes out in IMSA and WEC.
More aggressive.
More aggressive. You get drivers that are former Formula One drivers that go in there and they do really, really well, but they also learn that they have to deal with a bunch of bullshit too.
Yep.
So, something happening one week and then the next race comes up, it's in the past and they move on from it and go out there for another day. You don't see them moping around as much.
You can't. You can't.
It's kind of like Formula One. It's kind of like a woman. It's like massive drama.
Yeah.
And no matter what, they won't let things go that happened 2 years ago.
Oh, fuck no.
You know what I mean? Like, whereas, like you said, NASCAR and other series, it's just like, whatever, there's always next week, guys. We'll get them next week.
Yep.
It's just water off your back kind of thing. It's like, fuck, sorry about that. We crashed or whatever. You hit me. Fuck it. We'll try again next week, guys. It's just.
Yep.
Look
the
forward.
cookie crumbles. We got next weekend, boys. Yep. Let's go.
Yeah. But it's like F1. It's like, well, last week you did this, and last week you did that. And do you remember a month ago when you did this? It's like, fuck off.
Right. I would. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Tell them all to fuck off. I quit. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to race these kinds of cars. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, why
shit.
not? Why not? And it looks like Logan Sargent, because of his F1 career, has dropped out of racing completely.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, this is what happens. You take a rookie driver, you put him in his shit car, he underperforms, and then you complain about him underperforming.
And then he's just
you
like,
take
I'm
a
the worst. You can't even race.
Yeah. And it's like they counted against him some of those races where he got run into.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't his fault. He got run into, and they're like, oh, can you believe he did this?
Well, again, look at Ralph Schumacher. Look who his dad is, and guy wrecked cars and shit, and boom, you're fucking out, you're gone.
Yep, now he's in WEC driving for Alpine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where you have to in some ways it's not good becoming a Formula One driver now.
No.
But if you look at the rookies that we got in this year compared to last year, you've got some really well-performing rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Hadjar is going to be one to be watching for. I think after that first race where he binned it in the formation lap, he got, obviously upset with himself. I think he's got that mental fortitude because that Helmut Marko comments describing him as embarrassing and that for being emotional because he made a mistake. The guy loves racing.
Yeah.
You can see it. That's why he got emotional like that. And he came back right away next week, put in a great performance for being a rookie and whatnot. I think he is going to be one to look for in that batch.
Oh yeah.
Well, look at Ollie Behrman. He had a fucking awful. He had a fucking awful week one, and then came back last week and was called disrespectful because just on the radio he's like, ciao, passes guys, ciao.
I love that. That was amazing.
I love that. That was
a great move. And when he said ciao, it just, dude, that's what it's all about right there.
And people were like, don't you think that's a bit
Dude, I couldn't believe how Haas
go fuck
did that
yourself.
weekend. They did pretty good.
Current racing driver situation, I think he's going to be Mercedes number one.
I think Kimi definitely.
Well, did you guys hear the rumor with him? Toto Wolff and Susie Wolff are trying to adopt him.
What?
So he will eat, breathe, sleep fucking Mercedes 24/7, even at the fucking dinner table. You're taking this 18-year-old kid and turning him into a machine. I don't think that's right. Yeah, you want him to be the best, unless he's all for it and like he know. And two, that young, dude, you don't know. Okay, they're saying, dude, you need to eat, sleep. You're like, okay, cool. I don't think he realizes, like, dude, you're not gonna fucking do a goddamn thing. You're my machine. You're gonna eat, sleep, and you're fucking in the simulator. You're driving. You're not hanging out. You're not partying. You're not meeting girls. you ain't doing shit. You're mine.
They want
I
another
own your
in my
fucking
opinion.
ass.
They want another Lewis dynasty, basically. They want to build him into
he
the
does.
scene.
Oh, big
Yeah,
time.
he wants somebody he can groom.
But, dude, that's another
if they don't
level.
fuck it up,
Adopting
if they don't fuck
the
it up,
motherfucker.
that's...
Dude, he's 18. They don't
Why
need
do they
to
got to adopt him
No.
when he's 18? Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
no.
just wild. Is he 18 or is he 17?
No, he's 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't need
But he's one to as well. He's got the skill.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
And if he really wants to be world champion and really do it,
champion.
fucking dig in and do it.
If he makes the right
know.
decisions, yes, he will be world
he's with
champion.
Mercedes.
They got to be
making the right decisions. He's 18.
Sorry, George. We're building a car around Kimi.
Toto just said that fucking... No, he just said George is the third best driver in the fucking league right now. That's what Toto said.
Yeah, he's his driver.
Well, yeah,
George Russell's the third best driver.
Oh, yeah, because Kimi's not there yet.
Yeah.
He's going to be. No. That's, I mean, like they gotta groom him, kind of thing.
They gotta stroke Russell until they get Max.
Yeah, exactly. Or
by the time he's 20, so by 2028 or whatever, he will be the number one driver for the Silver Arrow.
Well, that's the thing is they gotta make pat George on the ass and kiss his ass a bit, keep him there because he is good. I'm not saying he's not. He is good, but they need to make sure that they don't blow it and piss him off right away and he leaves.
If George Russell
before
doesn't win a
Kimi's
world
ready.
championship in 3 years, he will be gone.
And I don't even see that happening.
I don't think that's how, if Kimi comes up and actually starts keep progressing, I think George will be out quicker. Yeah, I think they're going to hold him around just to make sure that Kimi doesn't shit the bed.
Comment by Max: Mercedes is going to have the strongest engine.
Oh,
yeah.
Just he pointed that out. So I think we could see Max
Mercedes
in a Mercedes.
Well, too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Mercedes or Aston, one of the two.
Yeah, one of the two.
He'll be.
Well, I'm curious if they're going to bring the V10s sooner than later. Because they're saying possibly scrapping the 26
with
plans.
all the development that's gone into
money.
the 26 engine development, the teams won't allow that to happen.
I hope
they
not.
won't.
Because that's a
they
lot of fucking money.
They've been developing their engines and stuff for the past 3 years.
Yeah, a couple years with the new engines, 2028, 29 V10s possibly.
Or whatever new.
But I don't know. Europe is sticking with their mandate. For the
E
cars.
division and shit.
So I'm betting their alternative fuels are coming. I think mighty quickly. So next.
Yeah, well, they've said that they don't. They've said that they don't want to. The EU said we want zero emissions or a lower or zero carbon footprint. Which means not all internal combustion engines are going to be going out of the way, but they're going to have to be able to run, synthetic fuels and shit like that.
That'll be the next synthetic.
They are, shooting themselves in the foot with all of that bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Although in Europe, you can hop in an electric car and get most of the places you need to go.
Yeah.
Europe is much more compressed than the United States is. Or Australia or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, I could see it's easier for them to switch to electrical than it is for us.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, baby.
Have a good night, everybody. Or a good day.
Yep. Good day.
Good morning.
Night. Thanks, Stooseman Brown, for joining us again.
Stooseman, where can they find you? On YouTube?
Just on YouTube, Stooseman Brown. That's it. The only place where you can find me.
Awesome.
Nice and easy.
Check them out again.
Yeah, there you go. Train wreck of an ending. Have a good one.
Good luck in the season.
Yep.
Yeah. You too. We'll see you on track, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be racing with each other.
Yep. Stay tuned. Wednesday night. Manufacturers Cup starts. We will all be streaming, so check every one of us
Homer
out.
Simpson in the background, everybody.
It sure is. All right, guys.
Are you tired of the hype around AI?
Peace.